My mate.
G'day, you inspired of attitude rock and roll. Today I'm with Mick O'Shea, Shady. We're going to be interviewing him later. He doesn't know it.
Careful what you wish for, mate.
Yeah, and we're just going into a gig at the Crowbar.
Crowbar.
See you
down.
later. Rock and roll.
See ya.
Go.
Yeah. G'day, I'm inspired of attitude rock and roll. As we were saying earlier, I've got a great mate and a great musician here, Mick O'Shea. Shady.
You don't get out much, do you?
What are you? I'm going to get Mick to talk about some of the bands that he's been in. And,
Oh my God. Well,
yeah.
How long have we got?
Oh, not too long, man, no.
Oh, look, I mean, I've been really lucky, very fortunate.
And
Really?
when you say fortunate, how long back, mate? Obviously you've been playing for a few years, but how long when you started really getting into it, big bands?
Pretty much, I guess, mid-80s was I was playing in a band, and in those days, as we all know, you were playing for 5-6 nights a week. Doing supports, all the big Aussie acts. And then I got a break and I was playing with Swanee. I joined Swanee in '87. And we did the barnstorming tour and toured ourselves.
Cool.
And from then on, it was just, I guess the name was out there, and I was, as I say, I was lucky. I was fortunate. Right place, right time.
We had a band, it's all kind of end, but when we did our albums, we were doing our second album, and then we're talking about a drummer to come into the band, and it was recommended this, Mick O'Shea. You got to get this Mick O'Shea, And
Why didn't you call?
What was that?
Why didn't you call? You didn't call.
Because you were something like $500 an hour. But no word of a lie. I got there one day and I was doing. I was actually putting up a rehearsal studio for Heaven. In the early of getting the band back together again. And I was at the front and we were having a cigarette out the front and all that. I'm going, so how you going, mate? How you been? And stupid me, And I'm going, yeah, good mate. And I said, so what bands have you been in before, Mick? Just talking out in front. And he goes, oh, I've been in a few. And then I looked down and seen the rose tattoo emblem on his arm and then realised, well, it's Mick O'Shea with the rose tattoo.
Yeah.
And so that's just the name one. It was Rose Tattoo. Who else was there, right?
Billy Thorpe, Dragon, Choir Boys.
Yep.
Ian Moss. Who else? I got to back a couple of singers. It was a concept thing this promoter guy had, and we were the backing band, and we backed sort of Jenny Morris, Doc Neeson, Dave Gleason.
Brilliant.
That was fun. And then then obviously I've been in a few other bands. I guess one of the big notorieties was early '90s in Judge Mercy.
Yep.
And that went for about 5 years. We supported AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Megadeth.
Man, you've been to some great things like backstage, and things like that.
Mate, they were wild days, but I had to say that the AC/DC was wonderful, great. They treated us really well. They'd sit and watch a sound check, and
cool.
It was cool. And I obviously got to meet the idols, all our idols.
Yep.
And and then that was the Judge lasted about 5 years. I won't go into what happened. It was nasty.
Yeah.
But then from then on, I played with Phil Thorpe, and through basically Paul DeMarco was Thorpe's drummer, and he couldn't play with Thorpe.
Yep.
He was playing with both Mossy and Thorpe, and he said, you're going to go and play with Ian Moss. So I rehearsed, learned all the songs, rehearsed with Mossy. He said, great, see you on the plane in a few days. And then that night, Paul rings me and goes, mate, change your plan. I go, what do you mean change your plan? He goes, I'm doing Mossy, you're doing Thorpe. I went, oh, how come? I said, wasn't he happy? He said, no, he said he loved it because he said, not only he played it, he said he sings well. And he said he was looking forward to it. He said, but I realised there was more money, so you're doing Thorpe.
But I know it's a bit of a tug off there, but man, to play with Thorpe.
But so I was fortunate that, and then after that I played with Dragon with Mark Hunter.
No offence, Mossy.
No. And Yeah.
Mark Hunter, great mate.
Yeah.
Been with all the greats and you know, Mick.
Yeah, God bless his soul. And
Yeah.
Pete, obviously, and Ian, actually when I was supposed to do the Ian Mossing and didn't do it, Ian Ryland was the bass player.
Yep.
Yeah. It was that Motorhead album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you-
it was a bummer that I didn't actually get to do the live show.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
But you played some big shows overseas.
Yeah.
What was the biggest
with
gig
Tats.
overseas with Tats?
We did. Obviously, it wasn't Pete. It was Rob Riley and Nick Cox and Kingy, of course.
Yeah.
We went over to Europe and did a few festivals. And one festival we did just outside of Berlin, and that was 180,000 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Motorhead, Slayer, all sorts of bands. Yeah, it was wild.
Absolutely.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah.
You can't even describe things.
And then I guess if you want to talk fame and you know being lucky, I pretty much fell in my lap. But I played with Richie Sambora and Oriente. That was 6 years ago.
And the biggest, I would dare say, the biggest thing now is that you're playing with the likes of me.
Likes of you, Heaven.
No,
Rose-
but you're in
Yeah,
heaven.
I know.
That's
And
great.
Rose Carlio.
Yeah, and Rose Carlio, all the greats.
Yeah.
And this was the thing, and this is why I had to do this, because every time I did an interview, I'd talk to someone, and then Mick O'Shea come up in the conversation. Oh, I work with Mick O'Shea, and I actually said in one of the interviews, I think it was with Kingy, I said I have to interview this bloke. You know, it's just coming up in every interview.
Yeah. One of the bands I played was called Arc Riders, which is Tony Schumer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Tony. He's part of the Blues Society. Anyway, one night on stage he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mick O'Shea on drums. He said, you don't ask Mick who he's played with, you ask him who he hasn't played.
Yeah. I think that's the case. That's why I felt like an idiot that first time we spoke, and I said,
Look, you know, I'm just lucky.
But you're still loving it, man.
Oh, of course, mate.
You're still loving it, you know.
Yeah.
We got out here in the car park this afternoon, and you get out of the car all like an 18-year-old.
Yeah, always. Yeah, well, I can, I will. You know.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'd love to do it longer, but he's got to get on stage in around about 4 minutes.
I'm going to go and work my ass off.
I was fired up for Batitude
Make
Rock
sure
and
you
Roll.
support Batitude Rock and Roll and the record store. Love this bloke.
And this is Mick O'Shea. We love yous.
See yous.
Rock and roll. Thanks, man.